My daughter was riding her bike the other day, and she fell and kind of skinned up her face pretty bad. We had to go to urgent care. And she's crying, and I'm carrying her. All I could think about is like parents in Gaza. October 7th happened, and I think there was this hope of like, this is just going to be, a couple weeks, a month maybe, and go away, and it didn't go away. And I said October 27th was the day I hit the button to resign. I was in 7th grade when 9/11 happened, and that really had an impact on me. Both my grandfathers served. My one grandfather was a fighter pilot in the Air Force. I grew up next to an Air Force base. I loved airplanes. I was an engineer in the Air Force, so I did a lot of research and development stuff, specifically autonomy, small drone, artificial intelligence. So I had a lot of cool opportunities, and this stuff really excites me. And that opened a door for an exchange where I was actually in Israel for 2 years. So we came here first, did language training, became a fluent Hebrew speaker, and lived in Israel in Haifa for 2 years doing research at a university there. And I think that changed me in so many ways. So like working in Israel, right, a lot of startup companies are using the industry, academia, and the military are very tightly coupled. And it's stuff that Palestinians have been saying for a while, like the West Bank is a proving ground of sorts for them. Facial recognition software, right? It's like we've got people we're trying to keep tabs of. We got large databases. Let's train our algorithms without people's consent.
Israeli security forces started having competitions around who could take the most pictures of a Palestinian to run through the database and see if they could find a match. And it's been referred to as Facebook for Palestinians.
So we're working on technology in the United States that we have a lot of constraints for safety and things that if you wanted, from a purely kind of pragmatic, like better test data, they could just go test it in Israel. And me making something more efficient or lethal or whatever could have direct consequences on Palestinians in Gaza or the West Bank. And so, to some degree, I did feel complicit. And I think Gaza's just, again, disproportionately what they're doing with some of their drones and their AI targeting systems, Lavender, Gospel, like learning more about that and seeing the parallels to the research and the work I was doing. That was a shift change for me, where it's like, I'm not just going to leave and be quiet about it. I actually want to make some noise.
The military there has been using an AI program called Lavender to identify its targets. The revelations about how the AI system makes those calls, the loss of innocent lives baked into the decision-making process.
A second AI system, known as Where's Daddy, tracked Palestinian men on the kill list. It was purposely designed to help Israel target individuals when they were at home at night with their families.
Again, I think October 7th was really kind of the turning point of re-examining some of the forces and the stories behind the oppression of the Palestinian people that really kind of made a lot more sense to me. I got a text from my wife the morning of. She's like, do you turn on the news, you see what happened in Israel? And so obviously jump on, start scrolling, start texting a bunch of my friends. Obviously it was horrific. That being said, some of the responses from my Israeli friends really, really scared me. Just the language that they were speaking. The response by Israel is always disproportionate. The level of damage that Hamas did, the level of death, the response was going to be, I didn't imagine it be as bad as it was or last as long as it has, but I knew it was going to be really bad. The thing that just stuck with me is October 6th was really bad in Gaza. It's been an open air prison for a long time, but I knew it was bad to begin with, right? And they were kind of at the total mercy of Israel.
Her name is Hind Brajab, and she was just 5 years old when she was killed with her family trapped in a vehicle.
It's the Bedouin.
It would be 12 days before Hind and the two paramedics' fates were confirmed, when Israeli forces left the area and civil defense workers were finally able to make their way to the site.
Hind Rajab is a really, my daughter's 5, so it's that's my daughter, you know? My son he's nonverbal, has some other disabilities. Mohammed, the boy who was killed to death by a dog, like, that's my son.
لما مسك ايده الكلب وصار يشد في كتفه يشد في كتفه والدم يسيل يقول له خلاص يا حبيبي يحسس على راس الكلب.
And it's like, I think just the arrogance of the IDF, the people, they're posting this stuff, right? They're flaunting it, honestly. They don't care. It's just so evil. Just like hugging my babies at night. I don't have words. And I think every single time something happens to my kids, right? My son sprained his ankle, or like whatever. My daughter says, "I'm thirsty, Dad," and it's just like I can't imagine, right? Like, I can provide for my kids. Like, we have everything we need. We're sleeping through the night. Like, just the agony of parents, let alone people, like, kids are under rubble, or I just, like, honestly, like, it overwhelms me sometimes. I don't even think about it, but it's really, really hard. I don't know if there's a way for America to come back from this in the sense of our reputation on the international stage. We've completely trashed these institutions like the International Criminal Court, the International Court of Justice, right? The UN, for the benefit of what, right? To protect someone like Netanyahu and what Israel's doing. I hope that Palestinians can have the determination and autonomy to live their lives, and I think there's Palestinians are just like, you know, like me, right? They have families, they want to do things with their life. They want to be messed with by, you know, occupying powers. I just see so much clearly how our liberation, or their liberation, is bound up in my own.